Latocha, give your sister that money back, girl. So guys, Latocha Scott has been all over the blogs these last couple of days because she did an interview with Nene Leakes. And ever since then, Latocha Scott has been back into the media and the streets are buzzing. So let's give a little bit of background information for the people that have been living under a rock and do not know who Latocha Scott is. Latocha Scott is one of the famous singers out of the group Xscape. And Xscape has made many hits. Latocha Renee Scott was born on October 2nd, I believe, in 1973. She's not only an R&B singer, she's also a gospel singer, and she's also an actress. This girl has many talents. What Latocha is best known for is being a member of the multi-platinum selling R&B group Xscape. My God, back in my teen years, Xscape did it for me. This group originally started in 1993, and they were actually guided in that group by the super producer at that time, Jermaine Dupri. Now, Jermaine Dupri, we all know he had lots of talent under his wings, but Xscape was one of them. And in Xscape were a lot of talented girls, because we all know Kandi Burruss. Kandi Burruss is a mogul of her own, like not only in the musical industry now, but also in reality TV, but also as a singer. And she had a very distinctive voice. Some people love it, some people hate it, but that's what we know Kandi from. And then we also know Tiny, and Tiny Harris is actually the wife of T.I. Also a very distinctive voice and very cute. She's still very cute to me. And then we have Tamika. That is actually Latocha Scott's sister. So, that was the whole beginning of, their road to stardom. And they did well. So this group was kind of like a tomboy-inspired group. And I think it's safe to say that Latocha Scott was one of the most strongest vocalists. Like her voice, I think nobody will debate that her voice was just, she kind of had like the throat. Like she was blowing. And I remember when I, with my girlfriends way back when, we sang to the song. There's always, one of us wanted to take the lead and wanted to take Latocha's part because she was blowing the song up. There were some rumors back in the day about this group and about the whole Cinderella syndrome. Kandi was kind of like Jermaine Dupri's favorite. And there always were these rumors like where, the ugly stepsisters and Kandi is the one behind the scenes. Those kind of narratives were definitely going around. It didn't help that there were some rumors of Kandi actually dating Jermaine Dupri. And, at one point, Latocha's husband, or now husband, Rocky, was actually managing the group, which also caused additional drama in kind of Kandi and Latocha being like the favorites of the group. So you can imagine that these girls at some point were fighting for, their own stamp when it came to their vocals. What is their identity with fans? And what initially started at 4 friends from church getting together and singing together were now like 4 friends that could sing that came together for a check, and it showed. So slowly but surely the group started trickling down. We all heard the story, guys. I've just given a little background information for the people, that don't know the whole story. When the group kind of, had their own problems, Latocha decided get back to her foundation of her focus of being a gospel singer. And she was like, listen, I am going to go solo. But unfortunately, mistakes were made during that time of her solo career, and it never really took off. But by that time, the group already kind of separated. People were doing her own thing. Kandi did her own thing, Tamika. And at some point, they all had kids. But I digress, because let's get to Tasha. So in 2017, the group came together for this really nice project, Still Kicking It. And it was kind of like a reality TV series. I think it was put together by Bravo to film a reality show. And even though there were some divisive issues within the group, the girls still managed to come back together, film together, and make like a successful hit series. Well, fast forward to 2023 when the group actually joined the group SWV for another show, which is called R&B Divas. That show failed miserably. Why, you might ask? Because Latasha was unable to really gel with the ladies. And let me tell you, it started because I still remember, because I watched that show faithfully. And when you look at the show from the beginning, Latasha had this, I don't know what she was going through, but she was going through something. She had this nasty attitude. It was nothing like in the Still Kicking It, where she also had her issues, but it was nothing like that. Like in this series, she had a nasty attitude with the girls. She was always, it felt like she always was in a bad mood. Like it was just uncomfortable to watch. So her whole hostile kind of attitude with the group was very off-putting for, a lot of people. And way back then in 2023, the blogs were buzzing because her attitude was just, ugh. So before this whole series actually came to a screeching halt and fell apart, what we could see in that series, it had the streets buzzing. And that was the whole storyline between her and her sister, Tamika Scott. It was terrible. So supposedly this whole fight between her and her sister on the show was rallying around a stolen amount of money. So allegedly Tasha was being accused of stealing Tamika's money. And this story was not supposed to come out. Now, when their mom saw that it was going the way of, Tamika finally confessing what's been, bothering her for all these years, she was like, no, I don't want this. But it was already too late. Tamika was already going. And the mom was basically making Latasha's side. Now, there are different opinions about that. But if you look at it, it kind of seems that way. But aside from that, she totally lost it. And she said, listen, you stole from me. Now, this is the first time we as an audience heard that. We like stole what? What? Because by then, we didn't like Latasha at all. Now, do understand that she was one of our favorites in the group. It was like an anticlimax. Like, my God, was she always this way? Ew. But then now that we heard that she actually stole money, we need to hear more. You can't just go off of what Tamika says. What happened? Now, Tamika says, listen, girl, I'm sick and tired of this. And I'm sick and tired of you too, Mom. Like, listen, you stole my money. Like, back in the day when we were doing our performances, you stole our money. And not only did you steal our money, you and your husband stole our money. Hey, we were glued to the TV. What is going on? And how much money are we talking about? Well, the amount was $30,000. Back in that day, it was a lot of money. But even now, $30,000, I'm happy to collect. Latasha was going off. She was like, who are you accusing of stealing? Me stealing from my sister? We were as thick as thieves. Like, what are you doing? Stealing? What is going on? And we were just glued like the TV because we didn't already like Latasha. So we were prone to believe, yeah, that's what you did, girl. But then, seeing all the emotions of Tamika and crying, we were like, yes, we think this is true. But it was all speculating. We also saw a scene where actually Tamika came together with Candy Burris, and Tiny Harris, and she was talking about, listen, I had this fight with my sister, and what was the fight about, they asked, and she was like, I basically told her she stole the money. And when we looked at Tiny and Candy, we were like, now we really think it's true. Because looking at their demeanor, they were like, and we were like, what is going on? But then fast forward, guys. They came with receipts. Tamika came with a folder this thick. She opened the folder and you saw the text messages between Tasha's husband and actually a promoter. Now, you've seen the text messages as well. And Tamika said, listen, this is my brother-in-law. It is his number, girl. So you can't even lie about this. So with all of these text messages, and you saying, I got the girls in check, you co-signed on this. You're in it. And then Tiny and Candy were like, listen, let's stop this. You stole the money together with your husband. Give your sister the money back because you were definitely going in her cut. So it was a whole thing. It was nothing to deny. It was there. Because she called her man right on spot. And of course, he denied it. Then we also seen clips of her man explaining why he does not have to steal money. But we all know they stole the money. Let's leave it at that. So they had their whole fight, whatever, they fell out, whatever. The whole gist of this whole reality TV show was coming together and putting the group back together and going on tour together with SWV. That did not go well at all. It went so bad that Latocha was kicked out of the group. So now here you have SWV together with Xscape minus Latocha. Bye, girl. Now, she thought with her voice that she could stop the whole group from going on tour. No, girl, that's not how it works. You have three very smart ladies together with SWV, my girls. Oh, SWV. Let me not start on them. So they moved on ever since. When it was all said and done and all established within the blocks, within the media, within ever that she took her money and she was kicked out of the group, that was that. Until a couple of months ago where Latocha decided, I have to do something. This is what I imagine. And so guys, this is all allegedly, but I could see her in her house just thinking and plotting, crying and thinking like, how can I make this up? These girls are having success. Like they're doing the damn thing on tour. What can I do? There was going this rumor around that her husband, Rocky, actually cheated and had a baby with another woman. Now the baby has never been proven, but that he cheated. All right, they have been together for 27 years. You know, things happen in relationship. People move on from it. Some people separate. I mean, we've seen it all. And that's sometimes how relationships go. Now, when she sat at home and she was plotting, crying, thinking, because that's how I see it in my head, she thought, you know, let me make a song because now my husband is doing this thing. He is being accused of cheating or whatever. Like my life is falling apart at this point. So let me go do what I do best and let me sing because we cannot take that away from her. That girl is a singer. So she made a song. In her song, she basically confesses her love for her sister and also kind of states all the things that have been going on with her husband. The streets were talking about this song. Like, did you see Tamika? Like, she kind of halfway apologized for what has happened. But let's be honest, we're not looking for an apology. Like I said, we're looking for cash, money. But I digress. A lot of people were like, we're not taking this apology. Like, who's this for? Like, no. Now you want to come back? We don't have room for her. Girl, you girls keep going on your tour, and that's that. She also kind of alluded that she separated from her husband. She didn't know him. I don't know. I have to listen to the song. I couldn't really listen to it. Since this whole series, I can't even really look at her face too long. I don't know what's happening. She used to be one of my favorites. But okay, she came with a half-ass something. Fast forward to, what was it? A couple of days ago, she thought it was wise to go on the Nene Leakes show. Now, Nene has her own kind of podcast / YouTube show, and it's going very well for Nene. Now, Nene interviewed Latocha and asked her all the questions that we wanted to ask her. Like, I have to give it to Nene. Like, sometimes I feel like she can poke a little bit more, but she asked all the questions. I thought this would be the one opportunity, for Latocha to say, you know what, I'm just going to lay it all bare to my sister Tamika. It went opposite of that. Latocha, let me talk to you. This is absolutely baffling that you do not seem to understand why it is that you actually are kicked out of the group and that your sister did not stood up for you and made sure that you were still a part of the group. Like, this is something you did on your own. There's nothing she could do. You stole her money. You never had any accountability. You never held your husband accountable. It's there. The proof is there. Sheets and sheets of proof. You never once said that, your sister is not crazy. The group is not crazy. Your nasty attitude is not gone. And when we thought that one negative thing in your life with is kind of your husband, like you got rid of it, now you're doubling down and saying no. Which, of course, long relationship, you fight for them, you stick together. I get it. But girl, if you don't leave that man just somewhere in the corner, don't talk about him in your interviews. Don't bring him along. Don't tag him along. Don't say it, because that's already a trigger. Not only for Tamika, your sister, but for the girls too. Like, leave that Rocky guy. You just keep him in the house. So the fact that you done your sister dirty, and not only dirty, you kept antagonizing your sister. when she was crying and everything. And now you feel like above all things, everything you did, she still has to support you and be like, put her on the group. I think not. What? Latasha, like this gives me delusional. A lot of people are going to watch this show. This was this one time that you could have, took your accountability to the fullest force and say, you know what? And look directly in the camera to Tamika and just tell her you did not. Then, Nene asked you, did you take her money? Just flat out ask her. That's why I love Nene. Did you take her money? And again, you were like, I cannot believe. I thought this would be the day. Then you talk about, which also irked the living daylights out of me, is when Nene asked, can you not talk to Tiny? Because Tiny is such a warm person. Like, you can approach Tiny and just ask her, like, Tiny, can I come back? Because Latasha at first said, the one thing that would make me come back is if they asked me. And that, I don't hear anybody talking about that. But that just grinded my gears. Ask you? What? Oh my God, guys, please. Because you already know how I get. But then she said, if they would ask me and, that would make me come back. And then she said, well, talk to Tiny. Tiny, she's such a warm, I like her. You could talk to, and doesn't Tiny own like the name of Xscape? Can't you just talk to Tiny? And she was like, oh no, I own the name. And all is well. I bet you do. But you already know that if you would go to court, because you're that type that on top of all the lies, you would actually go to court, sue them, and then come back in the group with your sour self and just sing the songs and then go home. I could already see it. But the reason why you don't do that is because Latasha, that if you do that, Candy, with a quickness, will change the name of the group. And that's that. And the tour will go on. The money will keep coming in. You already know. And you will be the only one losing the money together with your precious husband, Rocky. And there's no point in that. And you know this. There is a business woman in this group who does not play. And that's Candy Burris. And you already know she will pick you apart with quickness. That whole interview did not help. If you were close of re-entering the group, you are now further apart, I feel. And, Unfiltered fam, what do you think? Do you think she's closer now from the interview, or do you think she's further from entering the group? Like, share it with me. Like, I am curious to hear. I don't think it's going to happen. What did you think about the interview? Did you like it? Did you see a softer side? Like, she looked nice. She's a beautiful girl. She has a beautiful voice, but she has such a nasty attitude. Or is it me? Leave it down in the comments. If you didn't see Nene's interview, go and watch. If you want to see more than what I've presented in this video. But tell me what you think. But dear Latasha, cut it out, girl. Give the money back. Say you're sorry, even if it's a half a check. And we can move on, girl. And we might have a little poll whether you can come back or not. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Thank you for spending your time with me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.